Let's see. Ooh. I'm gonna have to move that up a little bit. No, no. Hold on 1 second. Let's make sure all the lights are on. Okay. Sorry. I'm here. I'm alive. Are you? Are you alive? Are you alive? I'm alive. Okay. Okay. Good morning. I'm not strong enough. I'm not strong enough. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Okay, can we do it like that? Is that better? I don't know. All right, welcome to Weird and Woo Woo, where I'm weird. We get a little woo woo. We're gonna be pulling some cards to see if there's a message today. They're making me pay attention to um the train. Let me tell you, you reach a certain age and your brain's like, I have enough information. I'm gonna toss some shit. I'm gonna toss it. And then you go to retrieve words and you like your brain throws out 15 and you're like, that's not it. Like you know it's not it. You're like, what is going on? Who's in charge of the filing cabinet now? Because they need to be fired. And like I can like I will go through a Rolodex of words and I'm like, that's not like how I know it's not it, I don't know, but like that's not it. That's not it. And I have to wait for them to figure it out. Like a little troll or leprechaun or some in my head. It's amazing. It's fun. It's an adventure. Okay. Okie dokies. Alrighty. Coffee and tarot, guys. Alrighty. Premise of this is we're gonna sit down and have a conversation with Spirit. Actually, Spirit's gonna have a conversation with us. Spirit's gonna bring whatever it wants to the table. It's in complete charge, which means we don't get to come and say, "Hey, I want to talk about this." We don't come with any intentions, parameters, time frames, nothing. Free reign for Spirit. Okay. Look. I want you to. Okay, maybe it's not completely down the middle, but like I don't. What? I don't like how it's flipped. Anywho, um, poo poo on all the Gen Zers who are like split your hair down the middle because it looks like a big fat freaking butt crack on my head, and I have a widow's peak. There is no such thing as splitting it down the middle. Even when I try, like, look, my hair was up in a what is it called? A bun when I was sleeping. So, um, and therefore this is what we get. It's morning. I mean, it's not super early, but it's morning. Okay, this is my second cup of coffee. It's still not working. Let me give you my spiel. You are a sovereign being of your life. You get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. My recommendation is never Cinderella it to make it fit. Okay? Capiche? Alrighty. I just heard how to make it happen. Feels like there's something that somebody wants that's on a time frame. Like you've set a time frame for it. The clock is counting down and you are trying to see what you can accomplish, see what you can manifest, see what you can do if you can actually make it happen within that time frame. It's like down to the wire. It feels very okay. So this is the energy of it. If you are neurospicy in any capacity, ADHD, like like the real deal, you thrive under pressure. In fact, you do your best work, and things seem to go off without a hitch. when you wait to the last minute. Now, this doesn't feel like somebody's intentionally waited to the last minute, but this does feel a bit like this could be the best thing yet because whatever you accomplish at the last hour is going to be chef's kiss. Um so it's kind of like that. Like might actually turn out better than you anticipated because of the delay, the wait, the procrastination. Although it doesn't feel like procrastinate. Hey, it doesn't. Little Phoenix. I love it. It doesn't wait. Oh, shit! Fire save matches. It doesn't feel like you intentionally waited the last minute. It's almost as if you were set up by spirit. You know, like you attempted and you were like, I don't know. I feel like you attempted to plan and you attempted to do something and like be responsible and boo, and it didn't work, which has only made you more determined that this is going to happen. Like it better happen. This isn't something that you can do by yourself. So either you're looking to spirit like now. I would say a lot of people would like to have some time to prepare for this, but something tells me you're gonna do really, really like things just line up exactly how you like they just line up. It gives the air of like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You're so like, like other people would be like, it would go to hell in a handbasket if I try to do that. If I try to do something last minute. And so this is kind of like, but so here's the deal. Spirit's waiting for the last minute to do their portion because it forces you to do things last minute, like on the spur of the moment, and something it chef's kiss gets executed perfectly because of that. You've made attempts to be the good adult, only to be like, hello, crickets from spirit, crickets. So, and when I say like down to the wire, you know how like look, some of y'all are still in college. I'd be acting like you're my age. Everybody's my age. Back in the day, remember when you was in college and you'd wait till the very last second the night before to do a major paper, and that shit was good, and you got like an A or 100 or something like that. Yeah, it's that kind of a time crunch. Like to the point where people would be like, "Oh, I guess it's not going to happen." And maybe you got to that point, but it feels as though you are like, "Fuck no. No, no, this is gonna happen." Like you at the last minute, you're just like, "No." Like I'm not gonna I don't know why I'm hearing it like this, succumb to somebody else's you know what I mean? Like, no, this needs to happen. Like I meant it the entire time. I meant business. Like this needs to occur. So something to you must occur. Um, I want to find out what it is, if they'll let me. Let's see. Starman Tarot. Sorry. Spirit is poking fun at me right now. I already know. So my spiritual team, okay? Because remember I told you I can't seem to find words at my ripe old age anymore. And the I said something about like I furrow, like you know how you say you furrow your eyebrows because I do that. Which is the reason why I have tension headaches all the time because it's and I said burrow my eyebrows. I was I was like, "Whatever, that sounds right." I just kept going with it, and so they just said something about my I thought you saw my white hairs. I thought I saw my white hairs, but, like, I was like, "You burrow your eyebrow," and so they're poking fun at me right now. Because in my head, I was like, "Am I furrowing my eyebrows again? Because 'Cause I'm trying really hard to get away from that." And they just were like, "You mean burrow?" Shut the fuck up. Are we serious right now? I need something that, like, can hold these bad boys up. I just need to. Um, anyways, right now as a collective, it's coffee and tarot time. All right, so Jesus God, I'm not. Okay, that's something that that was exactly what we like the delay that we had just talked about, and I'm okay. Um, but sometimes I put it back because it's like Captain Obvious. I don't want to. I hate this saying. I need another saying. Beat a dead horse. Uh, that's a really bad saying. Okay, so well, I couldn't escape it. Fine, fuck, whatever. 3 of the 4 cards came back out. So Spirit's like, I said what I said. I'm in charge. We have the 3 of Wands. It's coming. It's happening. You've been waiting. Looking at Spirit like the fuck. Where is it? I think too there for a minute that they were withholding it. And you were like, what kind of game are you playing? What kind of game are you playing? And so you sat very apathetically. 4 of Cups. You may have gotten to a point where it was like, well, then I don't want it. Shit. That felt more like like an adult version of a tantrum. You know what I mean? Like where you're just like, I don't want it then. And then 2 seconds later, like, I actually do want it. I actually do. You ever come full circle where you get so mad about not having something that you don't want it and you rebuke it and you're like, I can't stand this shit and this is so stupid and I don't ever want it again. And you might hold on to that for a hot minute, just to come right back to like you get so sick and tired of being mad at it or being angry at it or rebuking it that you're like, no, maybe I do want it. And it's like full circle. There's been a full circle moment here. It's kind of like going through all the stages of grief just to get right back where you were. It's like, okay. Are glutton for punishment. That might be something that you've asked yourself. Um, oh, I hate it when this happens. For no reason, y'all. I hate it. We have the Ace of Cups. So 3 of Wands, 4 of Cups, Ace of Cups. Showing me the hand here, the hand that has the heart. Like someone's heart is in somebody's hand or Spirit's hand. Your heart is in Spirit's hand. I mean, this person's crying as if it's the 5 of Cups. So you really did. You got pissed. You got aggravated. You felt like Spirit, you're just fucking around with me on purpose just to be. I'd say you almost got to the place of like, well, that's just cruel. But it's not. But you've been through worse. Like you went through all the emotions waiting for this. And then comes the Ace of Cups. Happening at the very last moment because it goes off without a hitch, like chef's kiss, like it does really, really good. Um, like all the puzzle pieces land right in place. You know, sometimes when something takes too or you have all the time in the world to do something or it unfolds, it gives more time for other things to kind of interfere with it or for you to like just get distracted or for you to want to change what's going to happen and change the details. Like you give it too much time and it's like we can poo poo it, right? Here's 5 of Pentacles, though. Ace of Cups did come out before the 5 of Pentacles. And they are repeating living on scraps. You may have been put into a position where you couldn't do anything. You may be the kind of person that's like, like the Avengers, where Thanos is like, fine, I'll do it myself, kind of thing. And probably would have. You would have railroaded, rhino spirited, pushed through this shit to make something happen. So you had to be placed in a very unhappy timeout. You know that they're showing me those little kids that have to get like a X-ray, and so in order to keep them very, very still, they're put in some kind of weird contraption where they're like this, and they can't move. Like there's this big cylinder around them, and they're like, "That's you." Like when spirit was like, "You got no room to move." And so and why do I feel like okay, this is neurospicy do this, like again, the idea like how do you do that with nothing? Like or how do you wait till the last minute and make things happen? How do you even do that kind of thing? And I just get this feeling of like they had to literally strip you of a lot until you quit fighting, until you quit trying. Uh okay. So yes, things were withheld. Something was withheld. Because you'd have been like, I'm gonna go do it myself. I'm gonna go do what I want to do. Screw this. I don't even want this anymore. Blah 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 blah. You would have, but you've had a full circle moment. You're back to right where you're like, okay, I want this. Okay, I'm like you almost like went as far away from it as possible just to get right back to it again. Something about that. I don't know what this thing is. Queen of Pentacles and the Sun. That's a problem. Queen of Pentacles, I liken to the 9 of Pentacles, right? Badass bitch on her own, can manage it all, can do it all, finds a way for it all. Like, is there something, anything she can't do? Only if spirit intervenes, right? Like, I want it, I got it type of energy. And that's the problem. Like, you really can exist off of scraps. You hate it. I feel like you want to throw fists at the air. Like, if spirit took on form, you'd be like, we're going at it right now. Um, but somehow you, no matter how far you get with being pissed, you come right back to with spirit. in alignment. It's like you get to the, like, "I don't want anything ever to do with you again," and then you come back and you're like, "Okay, fine. Let's go ahead and work on this." Like, you end up doing, hold on one second. I fucking left it way over there. My apologies. Put it under my rock, actually. Sorry. I brought tissue out, and then I left it way over there. So you sneeze and your nose starts to run. And I'm like, ain't couldn't be me, not on live. I have a sun card. And I think that's the whole point. As tough or as difficult as this got, um, I don't want to say you would force something, but you could make something happen. You can make something happen. And so, ooh, they really, really. I'm also getting that not everything, like, they didn't necessarily throw every roadblock or take everything away, but you probably reached certain points where you're like, why are you not helping me? And it's kind of like, I'm sorry, it's for your own good type of situation. I promise it'll work out. Promise you'll be okay with, like, once it all happens. The sun card makes everything better. As like once it finally comes to fruition, um, you know what I mean? It like overshadows. It's like the idea of having a baby and, like, pregnancy being bleh, and like the birthing process, and it's like it's worth it in the end, you know, because all you can focus on is something really amazing when it shows up. What is this, if you don't mind us asking? There's a page of swords, knight of pentacles, alrighty now, alrighty. Page of swords, knight of pentacles, knight of swords, eight of swords. Um, dare I say it's as if I just saw 22, metaphorically beat the teenager out of you, because there's a very obstinate energy. The eight of swords is that self-imposed entrapment, refusal. You've got spirit here with the crows bringing messages and informing you, and I guess you didn't like what you heard. But this kind of had to be, it's almost like, well, if this is how you have to, if this is what you got to go through, so be it. Like, this had to get removed. It's the idea of, no, I don't know. They keep giving me these little things. Like, you may be like, I had legitimate reasons to be pissed and this, and you did. But it's like there was something where it was kind of like, at the slightest inconvenience, at the slightest, I don't like this. Same as a teenager does. Fuck you. You can't tell me what to do. That sounded like South Park. It's like that, and how a teenager comes back 20 minutes later, "Mom, can you give me a ride a minute. I mean, not every teenager says F you, but they want to. So what if this rebellious resistance that you had within you, that had to be put in check, almost like calling you on your bluff. Okay, then do it on your own. Um, I do believe that's how somebody ended up in the Five of Pentacles. Um, can't risk trying to go down and do like I don't know. There's just something of like having your own opinion and having input's one thing, but rebuking and fighting against and consistently creating friction where spirit's trying to make something happen, you know. So I just see all the swords pointing down and the Eight of Swords as like things that you're like, well, I don't want this if this, and I don't da da da, da, and if this doesn't happen, then this, like, and these could be little thoughts, but all of that adds up to the point where you're just like, no, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, there's something that triggered your inner teenager, that sense of sovereignty and reclamation of the self, and, you know, something that you didn't want to listen to when it came to what spirit had to say. Then I don't want it then, but you do. Um, I'm getting 2 and 1. They just said that because it's like, I feel like this is something that you went through, but you know how I said, like, there like, the portion where it's like something comes in at the last minute, that feels like summer specific or let's say May, June, July specific. Reason I say that is because it's almost like that's when you came full circle, back to being like, "Okay, all right, I'm open to it. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's work together." Like, you know, wanted to work with spirit on something. Somewhere in there you did. You came back full circle. This is like, you know, when your parent tells you, "Oh, it's for your own good," or "This is the way it needs to be because this because in the long term this is how something's going to play out," blah blah blah, and you're just like so sick of being told what to do, feeling jerked around like in a cage. But sometimes it's that resistance and that combativeness that keeps you in the cage. You know, the idea that sometimes we want people want to go the straight route, right? And it's kind of like because it seems like that's the quickest way, blah 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 blah. Let's just get it over with. But actually, there's a lot of like uh, roadblocks and danger zones and things like that. So like the detour technically is the faster route. Sometimes what seems to be like the slower route is the faster route, right? It's also giving me like the Knight of Pentacles, right? Knight of Pentacles is not necessarily actually slower. Knight of Pentacles embodies integrity, transparency, honesty, forthrightness, trustworthiness. You know, there's a sense of integrity, uh, safety, security with the Knight of Pentacles. It's technically not the slower route, is what I wanna say. But you did add to a delay in some capacity because of this, and now that it's out of your system, I feel like they're giving me, like, a whole year. Like, you've been through a whole year of this, came back full circle to where you were before, where you're like, "Okay, I'm willing to work with you on this. Yet, yes, I'm willing to do this. Yes, I want this." Like, coming back to the place where you're like, "Okay, I do want this." but still spirit had to refrain, like take things away because they know you. If they give you any wiggle room, it's squirrel, kind of thing. It's like pew. And so if you were like, why is this not happening? You almost got back to this place where you're about to do the whole thing again and you reined yourself back in. You didn't fight, you didn't argue, you didn't throw fists of spirit, you didn't, throw a tantrum, but you were like, I mean business and I need to be included in this and I needed to be, that kind of stuff. Hello. So with that, we've got the Page of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. Like a message that changes everything. Being informed of something last minute. Look at how the arm is extended and you're like the messenger of the gods, spirit. You're open, welcome, waiting, listening, following the guidance. There's a chain down here that gets broken, and you can see the lock. There's dynamite ready to be detonated. This is the pivot. This is the things change. This is the 180. This is the no going back kind of change. Things are cut free. Um what is the Page of Swords? That one ain't saying shit. That card is like no energy. The Empress. On the receiving end of this, news, information. Give me a moment. So on the Empress, they have the cage is open. Literally was saying all that shit, and now it's like, the cage is open. You can't fucking see shit. Cage is open. Do you see it up top? The cage. This thing right here is like a microphone. So this message sets you free. It's the thing that changes things. It changes. Oh god. Oops. You know that meme where they're like, "This is what I think I look like when I'm reading cards, and this is actually what I look like," and it's that lady from Hogwarts or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And she's all like fucking crazy. I embody that. Um, it set you free. Six of Cups. Is this your inner child getting set free? I have it's almost like I have to say that. I don't think that's what that is, but I have to say it in order to be able to move beyond it. Um, 9 of Wands with the 6 of Cups. It really feels like protecting your inner child. Maybe you have children, and whatever this is protects your child. Like, it sets you free and there's a safeguard in regards to a child. It had to wait till the last second so everything would align just perfectly and fall off, like fall in line and go off without a hitch. There's something about, I guess, you do immaculate under pressure. You perform perfectly under pressure. You don't lose your shit. You couldn't be in the energy of needing you couldn't be in the energy of throwing tantrums and stuff like that because you would have been too easily triggered then. This wouldn't have happened. But there's something exceptionally solid, something very good that allows you to change something. And something about when you are in, like, you're in a zone. You know how, like, again, neurospicy people, when you last minute procrastination, you get in some kind of fucking zone that you wish you could harness all the damn time. And it's like, that's why there's such crystal clear communication with spirit. You hear it perfectly clear. You don't have this shit where you're fighting with it. Um, this sword is down, so you're not saying a word, and that might have been a part of it. Like, it's been a year, full circle moment. You're ready to do again. Things have not been coming to you though, even though you're sitting, waiting, prepared, not acting like a fucking teenager this time. You're like, I want to do this. Yes. Yes. I want to now. And you've not uttered a word. You've been patient when the communication was silent with spirit, but it's coming in. It uncages you. There's an element, there's something you need to know. It uncages you. But again, either one of two things. It lets you protect your inner child, or it lets you protect a child the way that this is unfolding. Okay. New era elements. Which I think the teenager, the one that wants to go to war, was trying to do all along. That's what your goal was with behaving that way, was, oh fucking no you don't. Like you wanted to control everything for the sake of protecting your inner child or protecting a child. The universe, which is the world card for the tarot. Something ends and everything opens up. There are now possibilities. Oh, are you serious? Tuck it. You can handle it this time. You're calm. You can maintain your balance. It's not going to rock you. It doesn't feel like the way that they're doing this is like it's actually going to go off without a hitch. So it's not as if it's like something, you know what I mean? But it's like maybe last year when you wanted this to occur the very first time. Again, they're giving it to me like that, but whatever the time frame is, there was a significant amount of period where you were like, rah about it and rah with spirit. Um, you fucking lied to me kind of thing. Because you were in your teenage energy, you would have been too easily triggered. They needed you superbly focused. They needed you in tune. They needed you moving with purpose, moving with confidence, unshakable. I'm coming. They're singing Eminem's 8 Mile. You got to own it. Da, 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 how he goes through that thing, and he's like, you get this one chance. That verse. Um. Okay. Mm. The Magician with the Knight of Pentacles. It's like being primed and ready for the right opportunity. I keep trying to feel. I'm like, why would we sit here and say they would if they got triggered, how that would mess something up? And I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, is this something where I guess behaving like that would have caused you to misstep or could have been like again, there's a need to really just listen to the messages and follow the guidance and and execute it accordingly. This is feeling like if you didn't, it would have given way for somebody or something to interfere with this. If you don't act in accordance, maybe it could be used against you. And so you were in a position where it's like, I don't feel like you're going to have to fight anything. I don't feel like um you just have to maintain composure and your demeanor and move with confidence and execute what spirit is telling you to do. You may have felt even like last year or whenever this all began, like you were being guided to do menial, insignificant things. And you're like, how does this even, it doesn't even, kind of thing. And it was like, it was really to prep you. You're right. It had nothing to do with what you wanted or the trajectory you were on, but it was to help prep you to kind of like follow through with insight, guidance, downloads, intuition, um, and leaning on that. But every time you fought spirit, they're like, you're not going to lean on your intuition and spirit. I can already tell. And that's going to cause problems. So it's almost like manifesting the right opportunity, using it correctly to your advantage. Okay, so tell me about this communication. And the Knight of Pentacles is obviously significantly important. You want to tell us anything about that? Something comes to you. Tell me about that. Oh, they said take the top two then. First one out was the Five of Cups. Disappointment, right? Are we really going to get to this? Is this really how it's going to go? Is this really saying what I think it's saying? We have the Five of Cups, disappointment, depletion is what I want to say. We then have like depletion in love, connections, disappointment in love and connections. Then we have the Queen of Wands, very deserving. Waiting. Then we have the King of Cups with the Ten of Cups. King of Cups coming to replenish. Boy, I'd be so happy when you motherfuckers get with these people because God Almighty, they're bringing back to the 2-for-1. So there's something. This is what I'm feeling. There's something not having anything to do with love that's been the crux of your attention this entire time. Unbeknownst to you, when you were like, well, you could just do this, spirit, and you could just do like this, and this could just happen. Why can't I just go like that? You were right. The thing is that when you were in this energy, there was something that they were trying to set. It feels as if something needed to go off without a hitch. Um, whatever tangible thing other than love in your life that you were focusing on and you got upset about and you were like, fuck it, I don't want it then. And like you like that has nothing to do with love. But making you wait until you got rid of this energy, that does have to do with love. So this whole time, you're gunning for some kind of thing, opportunity. Um, you may have noticed your material world has either been very stagnant or depleted, hence the 5 of Pentacles, because you were in this energy, the 4 of Cups, very apathetic, very refusal. Like spirit knew, spirit's got your heart in its hand, like knew if it brought the cup in, you would be meh, nah, 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 nah. So whatever you wanted in your so this is the thing. Whatever path or goal you were gunning for and you were moving towards and you were trying to achieve, um, spirit knew you could achieve it. But spirit, there was something within you, the way you were was I want to say the way you were with spirit, uh, that would have made you not a match for love. And I guess whatever you were gunning for was going to be the avenue in which they piggybacked love into your life. And they're like, oh, well, now we just got to take it. Now, nothing. Now, nothing's happening. Which I'm sure if they came, you either, you may have gotten this at some point and you were like, that's some bullshit that things aren't happening. Like for somebody, you probably knew. And that probably pissed you off. That's probably why you went full circle. Like you went way out, like, well, fuck this. I don't want kind of thing. When I say the rebel inside was like strong, the rebel inside was strong. I hear somebody saying, I shouldn't have X, Y, and Z, fill in the blanks, withheld from me just because of love. I shouldn't, da da da. And I think that came with the 3 of Wands. At that waiting, the very first card, the waiting for something to come to you, for something to transpire, a desire that you've wanted, you put your efforts out and it's supposed to come back to you. You started pulling something or saying something or doing something then, and that gave spirit the indication, oh, you might try to reject this or at least not listen to us. Because the 4 of Cups before the Ace of Cups, it's like you might try to reject that. And so until you got into a place where you were harmonious with and at peace and at one, like the temperance card, with the potentiality of love, that impacted your material world. So, as some of y'all didn't cross your mind that that's what was happening, but you knew it had something to do with your attitude for sure. And you didn't like the idea of like your trajectory, your forward movement being controlled. I love it when I hear readers who are like, you have complete free will. And I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. We have some. And then there's other times your path gets hijacked. Like, let me break it down again to you, okay? If spirit's like, we want you to choose red. And you're like, ew, I don't like red. I don't want to do red. Like, I'm in the mood for this. This is what I want. And they're like, trust me, you're gonna get tired of that fucking color within like 30 seconds. Choose red. And you're like, I don't want to choose red. I'm not fucking choosing red. Screw that shit. And so you just like, well, I just want to, like, no, I don't want to do it. So they take away every other color but red. And you're like, fuck, I ain't doing this shit. No. Like, you're just like, then I ain't choosing nothing. And they're like, okay. And they let you sit in that for a long time until it wears you down. Just like anything, you carry something for long enough, it becomes too heavy. Even faith, even a feather, it becomes the weight of the world. That's what happens when we resist. Do you call that free will? Not the way that it's been presented to me in my world, in this society. Free will just is like, I can just choose. You can't. Not always. Sometimes it's not what the fuck you think it is. Free will is not what you think it is. It is a thing where you get taken to, like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's true. That's true. And you do, I preach all the time. There are no chosen ones. That's a dangerous, slippery slope where it's like, oh, you're chosen. Anybody in all of history of human existence who's ever thought that they were chosen always ends up being an oppressor in our society. That's the road you're going down. That promulgates the hierarchical stance that we have currently. No, see what happens is you have to choose your destiny. Spirit will do everything it can to get you to the point of choice. And then you have to willingly choose it. So you are not chosen. No matter what your purpose or role is in life, it's not that you're chosen, you choose. You do the choosing. But I will say, in a lot of instances, depending on whatever it is that you are rebuking or refusing, it can become a burden to carry that resistance for a lifetime. You will hear people say, life, when I tried to run from what was for me, a part of my destiny, life got really bad. It became too much. Spirit is great at humbling you. I'm just going to say. So anyways, there was a part of you that something is you wanted to fight it. And it feels like, and not because you couldn't tell that it wouldn't be something that you wanted or something that you desired or something that would be good for you, but almost because you felt as if like you were being told what to do. Because the path to get to it, you didn't get to choose the way it unfolded and how things went. And you felt like, well, now you're just trying to control how I experience life. And it was like, much like a teenager, if you could see the greater picture, if you understood, when you get to it on the other side, you're going to understand it differently. Same as the, like it's all gonna be worth it in the end. But right now, and dare I say, it's probably taken longer than necessary because of this shit right here. That shit you were pulling. And you're probably not happy with hearing that, but you're at least not cussing out the telephone or the computer screen or whatever else as I'm delivering that. And that's where you needed to be. Spirit wasn't looking for perfection, but damn, you needed to quit fighting every fucking thing. Again, it triggers something in you. My sovereignty, me as a person, what I want, doesn't it matter? That kind of thing. Because again, we had the Nine of Wands with the Six of Cups. The double meaning. All this was actually to protect some kind of connection, some kind of soul contract. But also you doing what you did, fighting something, was you trying to protect your inner child. Or again, they want me to say, you trying to control the narrative and how things unfolded was you trying to protect a child, like a real one in your reality. A real one. You know what I mean? So now that you are in this place, this tangible material goal within your reality, represented by the Knight of Pentacles, that you want and desire will begin to unfold because you're in the right space and lens to accept or listen and follow through. Let's put it this way: to listen and follow through with the guidance that you're given. And the reason why that's so important is because whatever it is that you're gunning for has love piggybacking it. There's a million ways that you can achieve and arrive at this goal. They know you can do it no matter what, but they need you to go about it a very specific way because love piggybacks this path. So now, and something about that takes you from a Five of Cups to the Ten of Cups. You need that sustenance and that replenishment for this path. And I'm sure someone's independent teenager just wants to writhe at that. I don't need anything. I could do it on my own for a period of time. But remember the lesson you just fucking learned? You carry anything long enough and it will become a burden. And it can be your undoing, even if it's a fucking feather. Hold that out there for 24 hours. Let's see how long that arm stays up. You can do it right now. You can't do it in the long term. So what, I'm going to put this up. So what is we're going to go back to the Page of Swords. It's the thing, it's the information, the message, the communication, the knowledge that frees you. What is that? Thank you. Look, when we do coffee and tarot, that shit takes forever. It's like here in the South, we call it a come to Jesus talk. Like when you're just like, oh my God. And they get really nitty gritty with it because they're like, let me tell you something. You better pay close attention. Like there's something in every little nuance of it. People love to sit there and find the one little nuance where they can go, oh yeah, wait, and it stops them from receiving a message in totality. So coffee and tarot is when it's like sitting down with a friend, like 3 hours pass, and you're like, what? You know what I mean? And it's the one time we agree to remove ourselves as a barrier to receiving the message. And it's totally in spirit's hands. No time frames, no parameters, no intentions. There's the Queen of Wands again. It's like being in a very powerful position. You are really, when you're not acting out of your teenager, you're in a very powerful position and magnetic. Something about when your teenager likes to rear its ugly head, you fray your energy, and that acts almost as a repellent per se. Something about whatever this Page of Swords is, um, again, it's as if the sword gets used. Knight of Swords cuts something free, cuts something loose, brings clarity, allows you to pivot the full 180. This is like irrevocable change. Once you cut something loose, you end something, you sever something. It's, getting rid of the things that no longer serve you, keeping the things that do. Like, it's an irrevocable change. There's no going back. It's only looking forward. Because we have the Queen of Wands with the Ace of Swords. I feel like it goes beyond clarity. It feels like, again, there's something very tangible coming in. It frees you. Whatever this message is, it frees you. Clear path. Clear path. But they're showing me an image of like the Queen of Wands, like taking it. So it's like you must be in the right energy to receive. I mean, the Queen of Wands does receive it. Like you're willing to receive what's being said to you, what's being brought to you. The Star. I wanted to barf when I was like, healing. You did that already. And then I'm like, a wish fulfillment. I was like, yeah. Um, like the North, it's I'm getting something very public with this, but also like, so they're showing, okay, this is what they're showing me. I'll let you infer it. They're showing me the North Star and how people use it at night to guide them, right? You use the North Star to guide you home, but you are not the only one that can see the northern star, correct? So there's something very public facing about the star, something elevated, visible about the star, like maybe a lot of people use it as a compass, but also guiding you home. A clear path you're willing to receive. So, God, either spirit is giving you a message like, this is what you got to do. And you're like, okay. And you're like, but there's a tangibility to it. And I'm trying to figure it out like maybe whatever you're doing or wherever you're at, maybe your goal has something to do with trying to find where you belong, like work wise, home wise, location, people, a person. But I feel like like love is the piggyback to this. So this is something something else. Uh, you're open to receiving this communication, and it gives you, again, the Ace of Swords, clear path. The Ace of Swords clears. It's on. Think of it like this way. I always say, like, like you and Spirit are driving. You can look on the map all you want, but whichever direction you're going, it's not on the map because you're creating your own path, right? And so much like when you're walking through a jungle, you have to clear a path, like machete, like you're cutting the path. The path gets cleared with whatever comes in. You're willing to receive it. I don't know why you weren't willing to receive it before, or if it was just one of those things where it's like, okay, okay, they're reminding me. It wasn't that you weren't ready to receive it before, but your energy wasn't ready for the thing that was piggybacking everything, so they withheld this from you. So now that everything's on par, this can come through. That would piss me off too. But we've evolved. We've gotten over it. We're willing to work with spirit again, right? So a path clears so that you can find home, which indicates some level of I'll get to the visibility piece, or like a lot of people following that. It is reminding me of how last year there was a theme of location change. I even did a playlist of location change because I was like, given the cultural and the political climate, um, in multitudes of places, people are changing. There's been a mass exodus of a lot of different like, what I mean, and people moving locations. They're bringing me back to the sun, absolute clarity and ease. You're not the only one looking for home. You're not the only one moving in this trajectory, maybe. It's like changing types of careers, changing location. And I even did talked about, like, um red versus blue. There, at least in the United States, there's a lot of that happening. And they would, spirit uses what I understand so that they can explain something. And it really boiled down to like red versus blue states, and how when when the crux of everything happens. And I just said this yesterday, where things are going to get worse before they get better. We're at the pivot point where we're actually finally moving towards improving things. But like anything else, and I this is how I explained it to my son yesterday. Think of the tower. The tower is in decay. It's about as ruined as it can get. Think of the United States. Could he do more to ruin it? Absolutely. But is it ruined? There's a lot fucking wrong happening. A lot wrong. A lot is wrong. Um, and you have to deconstruct before you can reconstruct. Tower moment never lets you build upon a faulty foundation. It all got to come down. I'm going on a tangent for a reason. Stay with me. The positive begins when we hit that detonation button and bring the rest of it down, which means inevitably dust will be kicked up. There will be rubble. Uh, uh, there will not be a structure for a period of time that's remotely discernible, right? Like, it's going to be work to rebuild. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Saying this for since the beginning, it's going to get worse. And there's going to be certain areas that are going to be very hard hit. It's reminding me of that, where it was like, either create the community that you need to be able to survive and move through this, or you need to change location where you can. That could encompass where you live, what you do, where you work, who you're connected with, who your community is. That encompasses a lot. This is reminding me of that, where you're gunning for something and something else has to piggyback it. A very tangible thing. Like you're finally willing to receive the path that's the clearest to take you home where you're supposed to be. Okay. You're finally willing to receive the path that takes you home. You're finally ready to receive. They corrected me. Again, they could have given it to you before you would have gone, but you're and somebody out there kind of knew that love was going to be wrapped up somehow at some point, and you were like, I guess you were like, I don't want my path to be dependent on other people. I don't know. There was some resistance there. Okay, so whatever this Page of Swords is, it is information, news, or communication about the exact path that is so completely clear that takes you home. Tell me about that visibility piece, though. I could liken it to you're not the only one moving, going, jumping ship, whatever. I could. That might be the piece. But there's something about the star. Something you use as a Knight of Wands. Something you use as a compass. Disability. Remember, with coffee and tarot, I can ask all the questions I want. If Spirit's like, nope, I want to talk about this, because I'm like that. This isn't. So we're going full circle to the beginning of the message, where it happens at the last minute. So when the path appears, you're forced to hone in almost. Like, remember I said, like, neurodivergent people, we get really when we wait to the last second, we're in the zone. You're forced because of the speed at which something has to occur. Knight of Wands. That's why they are like, they don't want to lose you. They don't want to lose you. Pay attention over here, over here, over here. Like, that's the thing. And it's like, when something happens like this, when time is of the essence, when there's pressure, when you're in the pressure cooker, you perform. You stay locked in, and that's the way that they needed you. You are locked in. Give me a second. I got the 5 of Cups with the 8 of Wands. This 5 of Cups in our Hermetic Tarot talks about loss of pleasure. Okay. The 2 fastest moving tarot cards in the deck. People can debate me all they want. I feel like I always win out. Okay. If you're looking for timing, you don't look to Major Arcana. Major Arcana talks about the overall overarching energy of something, the momentum behind it, the energy that fuels, the intentions, the overall shadow that's cast over something, right? It talks about something greater. It doesn't discuss details. At times, something like the chariot can feel fast because of the stark contrast and the level of momentum that's behind something. Something can feel really big and imminent, but you want to look at the minor arcana. Wands always move faster than swords through the air. Swords are much heavier. Wands are lighter. They move faster. Swords talk about the permanency of something, the impact of it. And yes, it can be fast, but you're not going to get faster than the wands. Knight of Wands and the Eight of Wands are the two fastest moving tarot cards in the deck. I always, because if you're looking at, and with this particular deck, but also Rider Waite, Eight of Wands is when it's spirit led, because there's not usually a person in that. Knight of Wands is when it's initiated by a person. And we have both the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Wands. This is you and spirit moving rapidly. Like this happens so fast. And in unison, in unison. I'm trying to figure out if there's something that happens because they sent me on that tangent with about what's happening societally and things like that, and I'm going, is something happening that makes you get like a fire under your butt and you got to go, or you not need to jump ship, or because Five of Cups could be, if you don't fucking get the hell out of Dodge, shit's gonna get bad real quick. Like loss of pleasure. If you don't do something, things like you're gonna regret it. Disappointment, regret, all of that. But it also feels like maybe the Five of Cups is somebody else, like feeling that in the wake of. Because when you're talking about something like this, it's like, first off, if you're making moves and spirit's helping you make those moves, who's gonna stop that? Tell me about the Five of Cups. Who's this for? Or this could be the degree to which the swiftness at which you were pulled out of that loss of pleasure. Because we did have, remember, I kept saying this looks like the Five of Cups. That Four of Cups looks like the Five of Cups. Fucking chariot. Oh, okay. I just saw something. It's flipped. It's probably from earlier. It's the Two of Pentacles, just so you're aware. I don't even know where that would have needed to be. Tower. There's like like this is happening with urgency. Again, I don't, and I did use the tower for something this could be something happening societally, communal, like something within a community. Only because I fucking brought up the idea of like things are gonna get worse before it gets better. The tower has to come down before we can reconstruct. We can't leave any part of it intact because it compromises the integrity of whatever structure we build thereafter. And so, something's gonna detonate. I brought that up for a reason. I knew, so there very well could be something happening within your community, within your state, within your country that tells you, that makes something very imminent and important and urgent for you to do. Um, we're gonna leave that on the table. That's a possibility. The Tower does talk about something that's destined and inevitable. And obviously, you're in the space to make it positive now. We did talk about that. There were changes. Like it couldn't happen before because of the teenager in you, right? So like you were in the right energy so you can approach this appropriately and make it a positive experience. But it's kind of like it's something's in an inevitability. Fuck me right now. Seriously. I just learned how to speak yesterday. Um, tell me about the Five of Cups. My bad. I don't mean to give y'all dirty looks. It's like when spirit shows you the path, you're willing to take it. When spirit finally aligns and shows you the clear path, Ace of Swords, you're willing to go. You're on it. Star card. You're following that bitch home. You're like, yep, yes, sir. Um, Five of Cups is a disappointment. I can't tell. I almost like if this is a disappointing incident that happens in your life, I don't feel disappointment in you at all. I feel relief. I feel like you're like, fuck yes, I'm going. It's like you've been asking for a door to open and it's opening. That's why I'm like, is this somebody else? Because like I don't feel it coming off of you. You don't feel like you're disappointed in this at all. Justice on the bottom. But when I'm trying to understand it, I get the Five of Wands, which we've talked about the everything all at once kind of energy. It can be conflict. It can be like chaos. Like I got it like I got to do a lot at once. And again, when you're under pressure, you perform really well. This is going on forever. It's a very chaotic beginning. Time crunch, a lot to take care of, things moving at a fast pace in order for this new beginning. It's justice though. See, justice makes me think it's like it's not you that experiences the disappointment. Who's fucking disappointed? King of Swords? Something either okay. An air sign of some sort experiences some kind of a masculine experiences some kind of Five of Cups disappointment, trouble, difficulty. Six of Wands. Something may have been going good for an air sign. We got the Six of Wands with, and this is to clarify the Five of Cups. Whatever success this fucker feels like they've been having, or whatever elevation they've been experiencing, or I don't know, this is a person. It's coming to an end with the Death card. It's giving Like your disappointment now becomes theirs. Is this for everybody? Like, obviously not every, I don't know. It feels like there's a fucking person here all of a sudden. I will say also with this, just to this is also the end of like overthinking. It's their success because King of Swords becomes very decisive and takes action based upon that. Boom, 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 boom. And so it's very quick. Like you understand to leave something like it's a very quick ending, quick beginning. Death card is the end and a beginning. I'm going to lean on. Some of you all have an air sign. That Five of Cups has something to do with that air sign. Either you're ending something with them or their positive run comes to an end. Something happens with them. The disappointment is connected to them, but it gives you the clear path to get the fuck out of Dodge and make your move. It's a lot all at once. It's a brand new beginning with a lot happening, a lot pulling on your energy, but you can do it because, again, you perform real well under pressure. Things align. Things just fall right the fuck into place for you. Others, whatever this Five of Cups is, that I cannot feel connected to you specifically. Like, I don't feel disappointment whatsoever fucking ever from you. It's as if like the sun just and the path is fucking clear and you're like you're King of Swords in that shit. Discernment on point. Yes, ma'am. Doing it. Got it. You make the decision. You take the fucking action. Otherwise, it's just an idea. I always tell people this. Like King of Swords talks about when he decides, he does. Okay. Hence why if you were mastering, right, the different kings, you know, the King of Swords mastery is always going to come before the King of Wands. Because this shit, your thoughts will fuck up you taking the right actions and doing what you need to do. So, when your mind is right, when things are in alignment, it's easy to execute, right? So, King of Swords, I decide, I do. And the success comes from whatever that disappointment is tied to something ending and something beginning. It very well may be somebody else's disappointment. Okay? But it benefits you and somehow ends your disappointment. So I know what I mean? Because it's a ending and beginning. The thing with the death card and with the Phoenix is it's not like Jesus Christ who he was down for like 3 days and then arose. It's as soon as, you know what I mean? Everything's down to ash. Again, the tower moment. You got to bring it down before you can. So something has to end before the other thing can begin. So there is some kind of fucking ending here, whether yours or somebody else's. There's zero disappointment, in my opinion. Five of Cups can also represent you finally fucking seeing the way out. That is represented here with the clear path. You finally turn around, 2 cups. You're like, bitch, yes. Yes. And you go for it. You know what I mean? But I still feel like for some of you, there's somebody else. In some way, form, or fashion. They feel like they're floating out here in an energetic field. Something happens over here, and it's like you beeline it. That could be for those where something with children is in play. Alrighty. I don't even fucking know what to ask now. I'm like, okay. We'll wrap it up and just see, is there anything else you want to say? Anything else? Golden Universal. What do you want to end on? The World card on that split with the Seven of Wands, like you've got to do this for you. You got to make this move for you. Somehow you are numero uno. Again, you may be aware of somebody else's Five of Cups. I just feel like I mean, you don't feel disappointed about it, so nor should you. You're about to have a different perspective on this pause. On this big ass pause, you're about to have a different perspective on it. World card at the bottom. Three of fire, save the matches. Two of Wands. It's like holding back, getting the different perspective, taking the action. Things open up. There's that fucking Knight of Swords again. And once again, you are the Queen of Pentacles. Always knew you could do it. Always been capable of doing it. Probably why I pissed you off so bad when Spirit kept pulling the shit that they did. You knew for a fucking fact. You're like, there ain't no way. Somebody's interfering. It's like getting to be the Queen of Pentacles again. Knight of Swords. A caged bird. Again, that Empress card where whatever this is that comes in, this message, this communication, this thing that shows you the clear path, it frees you. You are freed. So like horse racing, like they're ready to fucking go. They're ready. And as soon as that gate flies open, they're just boom. That is you. That is you. And you just execute something with precision. How quickly is this happening? Well, very quickly. Duh. Fucking duh. Just went on a whole damn tangent about that shit. Eight of Wands, Knight of Wands. I just heard so mote it be. So it's almost as if it's like, and it is so. Like, it is a done deal. It is so. I don't think there's anything else, y'all. We played Ring Around the Posy like 10 times on this thing, seen every angle. Nothing else? They bring us back to the Hierophant, the love that's going to piggyback all of this. You're happy that you're finally set free. Spirit's happy because this is so mote it be. It's a done deal. It's been protected. They've managed to protect, like they've managed to protect this connection coming in. That's not even on your fucking radar. I mean, great. Like, I feel like the idea of, oh, okay, ooh, like you don't give a shit. You fucking want to get the hell out of Dodge. You want to, you know what I mean? Your goal is set on something else. And it's like, this is protected. The higher commitment, the Sun card. I just said, you sure you're not celebrating too soon? God knows you said that they're the Queen of Pentacles, capable of doing anything they put their minds to. And I'm like, yeah, you sure they can't fuck it up? And they're like, they can't fuck it up. Alrighty. I just wanna like, look, this is me, though. I just wanna be like, "Ooh, you a bitch for doing that just for love." Like, part of me wants to do that, right? Part of me wants to do that. They did say, though, that ah! Ah, are you shitting me? Ten of Pentacles, because I was about to say it, because long term, you can't do it on you might be able to start it. You might be able to, but you can't do it long term on your own, and that's the fucking point. Of course, you got all the gusto. Of course, you got all the wind beneath your, wings. Of course, like, yeah, now. But this is the trajectory that you're supposed to go. This is supposed to be some long haul shit. You try to do this on your own, and you're gonna putter the fuck out, and that's not what Spirit also doesn't want that. You don't see the love that's piggybacking this as a very important aspect of, like, the grander scheme of things, and Spirit's like, "Oh, yes, the fuck it is." Alright. I told you they preserved it. They're happy about that, because it's almost like preserving whatever path you're about to go on. It's like getting on it and staying on it. Okay. I'm sure you're gonna work through your shit with Spirit after all is said and done, because it's like, it's worth it. Bitch, it better be. It fucking better be. Like the baby after going through all that shit, the love and the, like, that, like, okay, it better be, because good God. Anywho, yeah, we're gonna leave it there. That's the message. I mean, good on you for finding a way to come back to it, and not wanting to kill Spirit in the process. Some people are like, "Oh my god, you would talk to Spirit." Yes, because at some point I'm gonna fucking be Spirit as well, and I'm gonna meet your bitch ass up there in the etheric, and we're gonna have words. And please, if a spirit is too pansy ass to be able to handle that when they signed up to work with a fucking human, you too weak to be with me. Get out my goddamn team. I can't stand. I don't do shit. I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyways, all right, guys. That was a long ass message. Hope it reaches whoever it's meant for. I hope everybody has a fantastic and wonderful day, and I'm gonna see you at the next read. Bye.